There are so many things that we need to do. We need to excel at work, make a lot of money, eat healthy food, go to the gym, maintain our relationships. And to stay sane, we need to meditate, journal, and be creative. No wonder everyone is burning out nowadays. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you think to yourself, why is my life so hard? This video is for you. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Jeremy. I'm a doctor from Germany. Let's get into the video. You know what can be the biggest obstacle in your life? This year. Sometimes our mind and thoughts are the biggest hindrance to progress. When I started dating my girlfriend before it even got serious, I was thinking about how our lives could potentially look like. Being married, having a family, maybe having a house, and all that stuff. But I would say this would bring positive energy into my life. But there's the catch. The same goes for negative thoughts. When I finished med school 6 years ago, I was worrying about if I can possibly find work in the specialty that I want. And then the thoughts begin to spiral. I maybe have to move to a different city, being away from my family and my parents, and they are getting older, looking for a new apartment in this oversaturated market, maybe being in a long-distance relationship again. Thinking about what if I don't succeed, what if I don't like my colleagues, and it goes on and on and on. When I noticed this spiral, when one small thought snowballs into this exaggerated worst-case scenario, I asked myself a few questions. What's the most likely outcome, not the worst one? This simple question helps me to interrupt my overthinking and brings myself back to a thinking that is based on facts. And the more often you do it, the more rational your thoughts become. Another way that I try to bring positive energy into this spiral is to tell myself to take it one step at a time. That is the same thing that I say to my patients. A lot of my time spent at work is to talk to the patient and to do diagnostics. And sometimes the general practitioner sends us the patients to run some tests, for example doing a prostate biopsy, to see if the patient has prostate cancer. And these patients have a lot of questions and worries, so they ask me all about the possible treatments, chemotherapy and all of that. But I always tell them they need to take it one step at a time, even if it is super hard. You shouldn't think about chemotherapy if we don't have a diagnosis. There's a high chance that it isn't cancer, but just an inflammation. And that's really the only thing that you can do. Take it one step at a time and try not to overthink, because it will only make your situation feel way harder than it actually is. Create a low-stress environment. Did you ever come home from work being super stressed, tired and hungry? And what you find at home is a complete mess? Your home should be a place where you can relax, wind down, and recover from the stress that happens outside. My physical space will have a direct impact on my mood. If my surroundings are giving off calm and cozy vibes, this energy will reflect onto myself. So take the time to tidy up your apartment for 5 to 10 minutes every day. People underestimate what you can do in 5 minutes. If you do it consistently, the effort it takes to keep a tidy apartment is actually really low. In addition to that, you can add calming activities into your life. I was in Japan recently and I learned so much about the tea culture. The amount of respect and care that they have towards tea and the tea ceremony was astonishing. And the ultimate way to calm down for me nowadays is to have a tea time. This is where I take the time to actually smell the tea, to properly taste the nuances of the tea, and to see how it changes by brewing it multiple times, to see where it takes me. It is a very conscious and calm, concentrated state of mind that I get to experience. You don't have to brew tea to achieve that, but try to be a bit more present in the things that you are doing. Instead of watching a TV show while you are eating, try to embrace the moment. Try to actually taste the food instead of just filling your body. Be okay with using the time just for this one activity. Try it, and if you don't like it, you can always go back to your own routines. But I promise you, you will be calmer and less stressed in this process. Prioritize 8 hours of sleep. Have you ever had that moment when minor, insignificant things in daily life stress you out to the max? You received an email and that can make or break your whole day? A lot of factors in life are beyond our control. You can't control the mood of your boss or your colleagues. I can't control the amount of patients that I have to see and treat at the hospital. So for me, the amount of stress at work can't really be managed. The only thing that I can control is my own resilience towards this stress. But how can I do that? By getting enough sleep. Have you ever been stuck on an airport or something similar, where you and other people are lacking sleep and are hungry? Everyone stuck in these situations are on their edge. People start to be unfriendly, they shout at each other and all of those things. People are always talking about how important it is to do nothing, to rest, to be calm and to be more creative. Sleeping is the ultimate way of doing nothing. When you get 8 hours of sleep and you go to work well rested, sometimes work feels like a piece of cake. If you are well rested, it will change the way you react to people, and this energy will reflect back onto other people. So instead of having an argument, you might be able to have a proper discussion where you actually talk rather than everyone just shouting their own will at each other. If you get enough sleep, you will feel more relaxed and better equipped to handle the challenges of the day. It ensures that your body and mind are rejuvenated, helping you to maintain a calm and composed state of mind throughout various situations. Aim for good enough. Sometimes life can be really hard and we can't really change it, but sometimes we're the sole reason why. Sometimes we make life being so hard because we're giving ourselves these standards that are so hard to achieve. I told you before that I am an overthinker, but you know what? I'm also a perfectionist. And this can lead to spending so much more time on things that are practically finished. Sometimes because of this, I waste so much time on tasks that might feel productive, but in reality, I just keep myself busy, and that's not really helpful. Today, I aim for good enough. For me, that means being satisfied with my work when I can say it's at about 80%. It doesn't mean that I try to cut corners or to be lazy. It means to cut myself some slack. It also helps with procrastination. Sometimes we try to write a script or whatever it is, and because we are so hung up on the fact that this project needs to be perfect, we don't even get a sentence out. But I encourage you to aim for good enough rather than perfectionism. You can always do better the next project. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, wrote about an experiment by a photography teacher to show the impact of quantity versus quality. The quantity group was graded on the numbers of photos they took, so they focused on taking as many photos as possible. The quality group was only required to submit this one perfect photograph, so their focus was set solely on creating the best image. At the end of the term, all the best photos were produced by the quantity group. Because this group focused on experimenting, having fun with composition, with lighting, colors, so they learned from their mistakes. It is very easy to be hindered by trying to find the optimal plan for losing weight, the best training plan for gaining muscle, the best way to earn money on the side, and so on. But it is better to focus on taking action instead of focusing on figuring out the best approach. Do a lot, strive for being good enough and become the best version of yourself on the way. As Voltaire once wrote, the best is the enemy of the good. If you like this video, I have this video for you right here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, Jeremy Tuesday. Peace.